everybody. What are we laughing about? We're just happy to be here with you. And also the countdown for you guys to come on in is always a little challenging for me for some reason. But I have a group of people who are not challenged in any way with bringing us incredible music. So why don't we turn it over to them, and everybody here stand. And if you're listening at home, maybe you want to stand and sing too.
Hatred I will love. Where there is hatred, I will love. Where there is sadness, I will bring joy. Where there is darkness, I will shine. I am an instrument of peace. Make me an instrument. Make me an instrument. Make me an instrument. Make me an instrument of peace. Make me an instrument. Make me an instrument. Make me an instrument of peace. Where there is hatred, I will love. Where there is sadness, I will bring joy. Where there is darkness, I will shine. I am an instrument of peace. Sing, I am an instrument. I am an instrument of peace. One more time. I am an instrument of peace. Oh, thanks for lifting your voices this morning. Take a minute to greet some of those neighbors out there.
Wow, did we have a full house? Wow. What? Yeah. Did you write that song in paper? No, that's very damn. Can I doodle that new song that you wrote last week? Yeah.
All right, let's do it. Are y'all ready? I'm in the right place at the right time. I'm just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I'm just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. 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 Well, good morning. Hey,
Yep.
we have a wonderful kids program, and so if there are youngsters here with us today, if you will come on up and join your teachers. What a gorgeous day to be outside for the program. Yes. All right, and we're going to sing them off to their classes. Hooray for the world, I'm glad to be on it. Hooray for the world, I'm glad to be on it. Hooray for the world, it's a special place. We got Mother Nature and the human race. The world's got trees and bumblebees, rivers and lakes and the open seas, mountains and valleys and animals too, and a sun that shines on me and you. Hooray for the world, I'm glad to be on it. Hooray for the world, I'm glad to be on it. Hooray for the world, it's a special place. We got Mother Nature and the human race. We got Mother Nature and the human race.
Good morning. My name is Leo. I'm your practitioner of the day today. At your service. Thank you. Just a couple reminders. Mute your phones or whatever. Silence them. And also, we have every weekday morning at 7, there's an online prayer. It's about 10 minutes long. Just a good way to start the day. And my wife, Cindy, and I are going to be trading places each day, leading that this week. And finally, if you have any prayers that you want to write down and put on a piece of paper, there's a sheet in the back that you can do, and you'll get prayed up if you do. And you know, there can never be too much prayer. The more we pray, the more we stay in the space of that one. So speaking of praying, let's turn within right now and bless this service, bless this day. Because I know that there is one intelligence, and right now we're going to call that intelligence in. I'm going to know for myself that I am that intelligence. I know that you all are that intelligence. I know that the music team and Reverend Andrea and the staff, everyone is that one intelligence, that one heart, because there is nothing else. And with that one mind, we know that we are all that one mind. So we can look around and see each other, see ourselves in each other, and each other in ourselves. We use this day, we use this service as an opportunity to remember who we are, to remember that we are divine beings, and that we have the capability to be a blessing to the world. And we sure better use that opportunity. And with that, I say, and so it is.
Well, we're going to move into some musical meditation together. So sacred, so secret, so precious, this love, so sacred, so secret, so precious, this love. Sing so sacred, so sacred, so secret, so precious, this love, so sacred, so secret, so precious, this love. I will share, 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 I will share this love, so sacred, so secret, so precious, this love, so sacred, so secret, so precious, this love. I will share, 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 I will share this love, so sacred, so secret, so precious, this love, so sacred, so secret, so precious, this love. I am listening to the wisdom of this body, and I am honoring the balance that exists in all things. I am listening to the wisdom of this body, and I am honoring the balance that exists in all things. Slow my step, move with grace through each breath. I'll find my way. I am listening to the wisdom of this body, and I am honoring the balance that exists in all things. I am listening, I am listening to the wisdom of this body, and I am honoring the balance that exists in all things. Slow my step, move with grace through to the wisdom of this body, and I am honoring the balance that exists in all things. I am listening. I am listening to the wisdom of this body, and I am honoring the balance that exists in all things, the balance that exists in all things, the balance that exists.
Thank you. It's so hard not to clap, isn't it? I have a little friend here. Come over here. There. I stopped killing spiders a long time ago. There's such good friends to us in so many ways, but they don't need to be right where I'm speaking. So welcome, especially if you're new with us today. I always think it's incredibly courageous to walk through these doors. I can remember when I was looking for a spiritual home and I was trying out different things and I never knew what I was going to encounter. And I walked through the doors of a center like this and I was home. But the courage it took to get through the door was intense for me. I don't know how it is for you. So this year, Zena and I are speaking about your soul's compass, meaning that inner guidance that we all have as factory equipment. And so we decided in the month of March to talk about True North. And of course, you do know that True North has shifted. The planet is changing. And so the airports are like, because they align their runways and stuff according to True North, and now it's not true. I always think of that when I get on a plane. I figure they know what they're doing. So in us, though, True North doesn't change. And so each week this month, we're going to be speaking about a different aspect of that. And what I wanted to talk about today was the experience of feeling lost. And I don't know if any of you have had that. Okay. I know that laugh. Yes. And why I was thinking about it is a number of years ago, I went to a David White workshop. And for those of you who maybe haven't heard of him, he's an incredible poet. And so he put on this workshop in this amazing location, and I got to go. And he started it off with this from Dante Alighieri, who wrote the Divine Comedy, which we were forced to read in high school, some of us. I don't know about you, but I was. And at the time, I actually liked it, but I didn't want to admit it because no one else in my class liked it. But this is what he quoted from that. In the middle of the journey of my life, I came to myself within a dark wood where the straight way was lost. And then he had us work with that. And I happened to be traveling with some people that were in recovery, and they were like, oh yeah, baby, I know that one. I know when the straight way is lost. I lost it, and it's taken me a bit to find it. And for me, it wasn't that clear, but it was presented in a time in my life where my kids were almost gone after raising them for 18 years plus. And I was looking forward going, now what do I do? So I was in this questioning time, and I did feel like I'd sort of been dropped into a dark wood and had to find my way into a different way of experiencing. So hopefully this is relevant for you. So as I was thinking about this, a poem that's one of my favorite poems by David Wagner came. And so this is the poem. I'm going to give it to you, and then I'm going to tell you a story, and then I'm probably going to give part of the poem back to you again. The poem is actually called Lost. Have you heard of it? David Wagner? Oh, well, maybe you'll like it. So this is his poem. Stand still. The trees and the bushes beside you are not lost. Wherever you are is called here, and you must treat it as a powerful stranger, must ask permission to know it and be known. The forest breathes. Listen. It answers, I have made this place around you. If you leave it, you may come back again, saying, here. No two trees are the same to raven. No two branches the same to wren. If what a tree or a bush does is lost on you, you are surely lost. Stand still. The forest knows where you are. You must let it find you. And that's the poem. I was talking to Joe about this morning because he was with me when we heard this poem for the first time. And I said, you know what I love about poetry is the same thing that people hate about poetry. And I did when I was younger. What I love about poetry is it seems to be talking about one thing, but it's actually talking about something else too. And I love the ability to try to use metaphor to describe a state of being. And so that poem is about being lost in the woods, maybe, but it's also about what to do when we feel lost. So the story is a story, I'm not going to give you the whole story, it's too long. It's actually a story I learned from Joe, and I asked him if he would tell it, and he's like, oh no, no, it's too long. And I said, okay, all right, I won't tell it. He said, well, maybe you could tell part of it. And so this is how the partial version goes. And some of you have heard him tell this story. It's called The Boy Who Lived with Bears. And so once, a long, long time ago, there was a young boy, and his mother died, and his father had already been lost. And so the way in that particular tribe of people was that when the parents were lost, if it was a male child, it would go to the uncle. And so the boy was taken to the uncle's home, and the uncle was the most revered and most respected hunter in the tribe. But he was not quite right. He was kind of twisted in his way of thinking, and he did not want to have this boy. And so he treated the boy like one of his hunting dogs. He fed the boy with the dogs. He didn't ever use the boy's name. He always just said, boy, like dog. And so the boy was very, very sad for so many reasons. And yet the boy had been trained by his mother and his father to show respect. And so he would always say, Uncle, how can I serve you today? So as time went on, the uncle in his mind became more and more not right about the boy. And he would take the boy on hunting trips, but he would always make him run with the dogs. And the boy longed to be taught how to be a hunter like his uncle that he revered, but the uncle never wanted to take that on. So it was a hunting trip that the boy was invited to come and be with. And this time there were no dogs, and so the boy was elated. He was going to learn from his uncle at last. But as they set out on this trip, the boy began to realize that they were going in the wrong direction for hunting, because he had noticed that every hunting trip they went south, but this hunting trip they were going north. But he was afraid to say anything, and he was so excited to be trained. So they kept moving further and further north, and finally they came to a cave. And it had kind of a small opening. And so the uncle turned and said, boy, into the cave. I want you to go into the cave and find everything there is in the cave. So the boy was very scared. He wasn't very old. And it was very dark, and he didn't have, what we have now, headlamps and all kinds of stuff. So he was was very scared, but he went into the cave. And he went as far as he could go with the light shining into the hole of the opening. And he had gone as far as the light when he realized that the light was being cut off. And that a stone had been rolled in front of the opening. And that his uncle had trapped him in the cave. And that he was utterly lost, And so he was devastated, as we would be, right? And for a while he cried. And then he remembered something his mother had said to him when she knew she was not going to make it. She had taught him a song. And the song, I'll see if I can do it without crying. She said, "If ever you feel lost, sing, and something will come to you." So the song went, way on a, way on a, way on a, hey. Way on a, way on a, way on a, hey. Hey, hey, oh, hey, hey, oh. Hey, hey, oh, hey, hey, oh. So he began to sing. Way on a, way on a. And he was singing, and all of a sudden, light began to come in to the cave. And it was blinding because he'd been in there so long in the dark. So he was groping his way out into the opening and then out into the outdoor world. And he was blinking because he couldn't see. It was so blinding. He was doing this. And when he was able finally to get his eyes to adjust to the light, he was surrounded by animals of every kind. And they were all in pairs. And he didn't know what to make of it. And one of the beaver clan and his partner came forward and said, "We heard your song. And we're here to help you." And so this is where I'm going to shorten the story, because all of the animals, 2 by 2, came forward and said, "We'll take you in. You can be part of our tribe." And they offered what they did. And of course, the beavers offered first. And what they said is, "We love living in water. And we live in warm dens under the water. And we love eating fish." And the boy tried to picture living in water. And he said, "That's so kind of you, but I don't think I can do that." And so one by one, these pairs would come up of different animals until finally the bear people came. And the bear people said, "You'd love to be part of the bear tribe. We eat berries and we eat salmon and we play all day, and you can play with my cubs and be a part of the bear tribe." And so he took them up on it. And so all the animals dispersed, and he went with the bear. And sure enough, Mama Bear with her cubs took them out on adventures, and they played and wrestled, and the cubs would wrestle with the boy, and every time he would accidentally get scraped by their claws, he would grow bear fur. And so over the summer, he began to look like a bear cub. And every once in a while, Mother Bear would say, "We need to go now. Shh." And they would follow her. And it was because she could tell that a hunter was coming. And this worked really well, and she knew all the hunters. So she wasn't afraid of the hunter that ran into trees while he was hunting. She said, "Oh, he's always running into trees and falling down. We don't need to worry about him, but we'll be quiet." But eventually, Uncle began to track. And she said, "Shh, this one we really must be afraid of." And they ran. She said, "Run, follow me, run." And so the cubs, including the boy, were terrified. And they ran, but Uncle had dogs, and dogs tracked their scent, and they could hear the dogs getting closer and closer. And Mother Bear said, all right, we're not going to outrun, so let's go into this log, this hollow log. And so they all crammed themselves into the log, and the boy cub was last. And he could hear the dogs snuffling around the tree, and he knew that they had been found. But he thought, okay, well, we're in the tree, maybe they'll just go away. But pretty soon he heard fire. And smoke began to be fanned into the log, choking, asphyxiating smoke. And he knew that they were going to have to leave the tree and be killed. And so he yelled from the tree, inside the tree, said, "Stop hurting my family!" And then he came out, "Stop hurting my family!" And Uncle was stunned. And he said, "Nephew?" And he reached out to touch, and all the bear fur fell, and it was his nephew. And nephew said, "Stop hurting my family!" And Uncle said, "Nephew, I thought you were dead. I went back. I realized shortly after what I'd done that it was twisted, that my mind had become twisted, and I came back, but the stone had been rolled back, and there were animal prints everywhere, and I thought maybe they had killed you and taken you away." And nephew said, "No, the bear tribe adopted me." And Uncle said, "Nephew, I am so sorry. I was not right in my mind, and I've realized it. Will you be part of my family?" And he said, "I'll be part of your family as long as from this day forward you never kill a bear." And Uncle agreed. So that's the story. Short version. Joe tells it better. He plays drum. But the reason I'm bringing that story is because there are so many of us listening here and afar who have felt not part of a tribe. And particularly when COVID came, many of us lost our tribe and did the best we could staying connected, but it wasn't the same in any way, shape, or form. And if you were like me, that began to make you feel very lost and uncertain and disconnected and separate. And so I'm here to tell you that those feelings are understandable, but they're based on a false belief. They're based on a false idea that almost all of humanity is operating under. And the false belief is this, that we're separate. I am separate. And that's not possible. Really, it's not possible. I've been teaching the Inward Journey class from this book, and she tells a story about this false belief, this idea that somehow we could be separate and apart, which is what the boy felt in the cave, right? Rejected, separate, alone, cut off. And the mother gave him the medicine that called forward his connection. So Mary O'Malley does a workshop every once in a while, and at that workshop she often has a strawberry for every participant because of this myth, this spell, this false belief of being separate. And this is what she has people do. She says, "I begin by telling them they're not holding a strawberry. They are holding the whole universe, because it took everything throughout all time and space in order for this particular strawberry to exist. We now know that every atom that makes up a strawberry was once part of a star, for stars were the incubators for most of the elements of life. So this strawberry needed stars to exist. It also needed the creation of Earth and all of the creativity that has happened on the planet for the past 4.54 billion years. This brought forth the mother plant of this strawberry, which came from a seed, which came from another seed, and so on down through the corridors of time. Where does that continuum end? It is a thread of life that goes all the way back to the beginning of our universe. The strawberry would not exist without the sun that gives of itself day after day. It also needed water, a rare substance in the parts of our galaxy that we've been able to explore. How could that water continue to circulate and give birth to life without the atmosphere and all of the dynamics that make up what we call weather, which we complain about a lot around here? I added that part. This strawberry also needed mountains and trees that dissolved into soil, along with the bacteria and the worms in the soil that made it alive. It even needed the blue-green algae that oxygenated our planet billions of years ago and made cellular life possible. So this one little strawberry, it's dependent on almost everything for its existence. And the same is true for you and me. It is purely an illusion that you are a separate being. So I could go on, but it is an illusion. And it's an illusion that's been reinforced by the people who loved us and wanted to keep us safe. And so they taught us that we needed to be independent and strong, and we needed to, take care of ourselves, and lots of messaging came that somehow everything wasn't completely interdependent. And unfortunately, that message, which made us feel separate, also made us feel incredibly vulnerable and not safe. So, one of the things we can do to reclaim our understanding of how deeply we interbe with everything is to begin to become present with everything we're doing and with everyone we're with, and to begin to pay attention mindfully to the food on our table and the fuel in our car and all of the different things that support our life, and begin to actually pay attention to the vast web that brought all of that into being and to us. I mean, as simple as thinking about Amazon. Think about Amazon. You may have opinions about Amazon. I have friends who have lots of opinions. But one thing about Amazon is that they have managed to exemplify interbeing. They have brought together supplies and really fun things from all over the globe, and it can be on your doorstep in just one day if you pay more than $100 a year. That model of interconnectedness was adopted to bring about supply, right? But it's as ancient as time. That model of interconnection and something being brought to you that is supportive of you has always been how it is. And it's only the false belief that we're somehow separated from the good of life, separated from what we need, separated from ideas or opportunities that makes us think that somehow we're standing alone when we're not. And our mothers and our fathers didn't know to teach us the song that would call forward our oneness with all life and the support we needed. But in small ways and large, we can do that now. We may not know the Way On song, although it's a lovely song, but what we do know is we do know how to ask. From the bottom of our hearts. It has to be a true ask, from the true north of our being, especially when we're lost, to stand still and to ask in our fear, in our confusion, in our difficulties, to ask for help. Not like I'm going to call this one person, but I need the whole universe to support me right now, and I am asking right now for the kind of support that will help me find my way, find the straight way out of this dark forest. And so his poem is about really that, is about being present Stand still, he says. The forest knows where you are. So I'm going to do a prayer. And if there's anyone listening, here or online, that happen to find themselves in a dark forest where the way forward is not entirely clear, this is a prayer for that. And if you are in the fortunate position of not being there right now, I bet you know someone who is. And so you can take this prayer that I'm speaking and hold them in your mind, knowing that they too are connected to everything. And there is support, and there is a way forward. So please join me in this. Know with me as I know for myself, and speak this word in the first person. I know that there is a profound wisdom and love that is the very glue of all life. It is that which creates everything. It has created everything over and over and more through all that it is. And it will never cease. It is eternal and present and creating in my life. And as I remember this truth, I realize I am not lost. And I stand still in the awareness that everything I may need, whether it's a person or a situation or an idea or a feeling, whatever I need, as I open to my absolute connection to infinite wisdom and powerful love, it is provided. And what I know has stood in my way time and again is a fixed idea of how that should show up. And I realize now how silly that is. Instead, I understand that I am working with something that is so vast and so creative that there is not just one solution to getting me out of this forest. There are many, many solutions, and often way better solutions than what I've been imagining. So I open my mind to allow a vast array of possibilities and the highest and best solution for helping me find my way forward to be made manifest in my mind and heart. And I ask also that it be obvious, that I'm not guessing here, that I'm standing still and that wisdom knows, just like the forest knows me. That wisdom knows me through and through. And in this knowing, I find tremendous relief. I take a deep breath of life, and I let go of fear and anxiety and worry and all the things that might stand in the way of being open-hearted and open-minded and ready. And in that deep breath, I am ready. I am not lost, I am found. And I am so grateful. Say with me, will you? And so it is. Thank you. All right, collection time. If you're joining us for the first time, I want you to know that these baskets are passed, and if you find value in being here and you would like to give a donation to the center, we deeply appreciate it. Many people who are sitting in this room and listening online give on a regular basis through our automated services. You can do it through PayPal. You can sign up to be having a withdrawal from your bank. So you may not see everybody putting money in the baskets, but there are a lot of people putting money in the baskets, and I really appreciate that very much. So come on up, ushers, and take it away.
Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. This healing, this healing, this healing day for love. Thank you for this. this love, Spirit. Thank you for this love. Thank you for this love, Spirit. Thank you for this love. This healing, this healing, this healing love. This healing, this healing, this healing love. And for peace, thank you for this peace, Spirit. Thank you for this peace. Thank you for this peace, Spirit. Thank you for this peace. This healing, this healing, this healing peace. This healing, this healing, this healing peace. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day.
Okay, well, let me tell you a little bit about what we're doing here. We have a retreat that it's a brand new offering, and it is the brainchild of Reverend Zena, and I get to be part of it, so we're doing this together. We have incredible music happening with it, and an amazing chef in our community, Jen Brown. I thought I saw her come in today, Jen. There she is. She's making dinner and lunch for us, and it's going to be on location here. So it starts on Friday night, and we have a short session that evening, and then we come back in the morning at 9, and we have a session that goes to about 3 o'clock. And it's experiential. It is deeply nourishing is the intention, because, you know, spring is that time of renewal and replenishment, and we want to offer that to you. So registration is starting soon, and we wanted you to know the dates. So it's April 7th and April 8th, which is the Friday and Saturday right before Easter Sunday. So we thought it was a wonderful time for that kind of energy of renewal and, you know, we have risen kind of stuff. So, and it's not a women's retreat, it's an everybody retreat. So you're welcome to come, and we'd love you to, because it's play for us. It's a play offering of our hearts to you. So that's happening. We also have sacred circles, and the in-person sacred circles have filled, but we have the generosity of people, Andrea and Francine, raise your hands, and they have offered to do a sacred circle on Zoom. There's only 10 people in that circle, because the circles are meant to be intimate and get to know each other kind of things. And this particular one, I believe, is on Friday evenings. And if you would like to join the Zoom Sacred Circle, you can sign up at the Ask Me desk in the back of the room. And they would love to have you. And then today was the start of our meditation, and a bunch of you went. Bravo! Joe and I showed up at like 5 after 10, and there were all these cars in the parking lot, and Joe goes, "Oh God, did we miss something?" And I said, "Oh God, is it daylight saving time and I forgot?" Next week, apparently it's next week. Is that right? Yeah, so spring forward, always my least favorite thing. But no, it was all these meditators. And so if you want to join them, it's happening every Sunday morning at 10 a.m. in the classroom for about 15 minutes. We don't have childcare for that, but we'd love you to come and be a part of that. And I'm really thrilled that it's back, and we're doing it again. And then today is our new member information session. This is not a commitment to membership, but if you want to be a member, you have to go to one of these. You get to go to one of these. And so we're going to be here in the sanctuary. I'll get to introduce you to some of the leadership team and tell you a little bit about what our center is doing and what we are, what we belong to in the larger sense, and answer any questions you might have. So if you'd like to stay and be a part of that, even if you didn't sign up, you're welcome to do that. And those of you who have signed up, we have packets for you, and we'll give those to you after the service. We're going to start as soon as possible after this service, so there's going to be some chair moving and setup. But if you signed up, just hang out, and we'll be with you shortly. And leadership team, just a reminder, we want you to stay for a little bit. And then men's group gathering is next Sunday. And it starts at noon. It's an integrated offering, so on Zoom and in person. And I was telling Philip that a really exciting thing is happening that the men of our community might want to know about, and Philip will also share, but by then it's almost like you need to know now. There is a CSL, our larger organization is putting on a men's gathering, and they're putting it on in Vernonia, which is a little town just outside of Portland. So it sounds like Philip is going, and it sounds like Joe is going. And so if you're interested in that, you can ask Philip about it after the service today, and we can get you the registration information. I know that they've invited a really lovely musician, Jamie Lula. I don't know if some of you know Jamie, but Jamie is going to be the musical director for the weekend. And what weekend is it? It's Friday night, the 17th of March. That's why I'm telling you about it now. And it goes until Sunday afternoon. The cost is $390, and I don't know much more than that, but we'll find out for you. We just heard about it, and we thought, well, it's only 5 hours from here, as long as it's not snowing and you don't go in the middle of traffic. So, men's group next week. And then women's group is gathering next week. Very unusual for the women's group. They usually are the third Sunday, but we have our annual general meeting on the third Sunday of March every year. So the women are also meeting on the same day as the men's gathering here, and you're invited to come. The women will be in the sanctuary, the men will be in the classroom. It'll be really fun. And then let's see. So this is the Fairhaven Labyrinth. How many of you have walked that labyrinth? Oh, good. So we are celebrating, we have a ritual team. Did you know that? And we are celebrating spring equinox, which is on the 20th, March 20th, in the northern hemisphere here. And so we're going to walk the labyrinth together at 6 p.m. We have some drumming and some singing that will happen before we enter. We have an intention setting question we'll be inviting you to ask yourself as you walk the labyrinth, and a closing candle ceremony. So very, very beautiful, and you're invited to come. The ritual team is fairly hardy, and so even if it's raining a little bit, we're going to be there. So we'd love you to come, absolutely free. Just want people to come and celebrate this, time where the light and the dark are balanced. And let's see, Reverend Zena, starting on March 21st, Tuesday evening, is doing a really neat class that explores ancient wisdom and new thought and a different way of praying. If you were like me, I was raised in the Episcopal Church, so I learned some rote prayers that totally didn't work. I mean, I prayed for a pony, which actually, with hindsight, is good I didn't get. But at the time as a child, I was like, this stuff doesn't work. Our prayers do. And learning how to pray in this way is so supportive to a rich and lovely life. So this class is about that. And if you have questions, you can ask Reverend Zena right after the service. And as I mentioned, this sounds really dry and boring, but typically it's not. And it's also, I have been to so many meetings in my life as a person, how about you, that I have a thing about keeping meetings succinct and short and wonderful. And so hopefully our annual general meeting will strike you that way. It's rarely over an hour. We provide some snacks because I like food. How about you? And we also will be offering it for anyone who wants to join us in live stream. There'll be, on Zoom, not live stream. And so there'll be a Zoom link you can ask for to come into the meeting. And that's on the 19th of this month. And we love everyone to come, but we especially ask if you already are a member, if you would be willing to come. We have to have a quorum to vote things in, and we'd love to have you be a part of it. What we do in this meeting is not only vote for things, but we talk about what the past year has included and the vision for the coming year, and sometimes even beyond that. So we love to have people come and hear us. So come, the 19th, right after the service. All right. And we are part of a larger organization that is called Earth Ministries, and it's a group of all different kinds of spiritual organizations and congregations, and we have banded together because we have a sacred charge to heal the earth and regenerate the earth and help the earth, and to inform our communities, our congregations, about ways to do that. So we do that in the form of the Earth Stewards here in our community. And actually, we became a model for other congregations. It's really cool. So one of the things we're aware of is Washington State has a very short legislative period of time. And in that time frame, often bills come up that would positively help the earth. And so, those of us on the Earth Stewards team, we know about it because we get the emails from the larger organization. But we thought, well, maybe there are some of you that would be interested in weighing in on these bills. And usually what that looks like is there's a link, you click on it, and there's a box you check that says for or against, and then a place for commentary. So if you would like these communications, then you can sign up to receive them. You don't have to do anything with them if you're busy or whatever. But if you're interested in this particular way of helping the earth, then you can leave your name at the Ask Me desk, and we'll give it to our Earth Steward team, who will make sure that you get, I think during the season of the legislature, I get one about once a week that tells me about the bills and how they're progressing. So, interesting thing. And it's time to sing. So would you stand and we'll sing along with this incredible band of ours.
I can feel the power of love inside me. Feel the power of love. I can see the evidence around me. We are the power of love. And my eyes are open to the truth I now embrace. And my heart is opened by Spirit and by grace. I can feel the power of love inside me. Feel the power of love. I can see the evidence around me. We are the power of love. And my eyes are open to the truth I now embrace. And my heart is open by Spirit and by grace. We are the power of love. 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 Go out and enjoy this glorious day, and we'll see you again soon.